My mission is simple, to make you money. I'm here to level the playing field for all investors. There's always a bull market somewhere, and I promise to help you find it. Mad Money starts now. Hey, I'm Cramer. Welcome to Mad Money. Welcome to Cramerica. I'll do my friends. I'm going to try to make a little money. My job is not just to entertain, but to educate and teach. So call me at 1-800-743-CNBC or tweet me at Jim Cramer. Today we found out what's wrong with the drugstores. It's not the shoplifting. It's not the jury brick-and-mortar locations. It's not the maximum security prison of merchandise where you need to call the jailer to get a bar of soap. It's not even the often downtrodden employees who are tired of having to watch people walk out of the stores without paying. No! It's Amazon! On a day where the Dow gained 36 points, S&P inched up 0.09%, Nasdaq advanced 0.3%, I see Amazon hitting an all-time high, putting it in the rarefied air of the $2 trillion club. I see Walgreens hitting a multi-year low of $12, down 22% today. You know, after reporting an abysmal quarter, it was its worst day ever. We had our CNBC Investing Club meeting today, and we discussed the greatness of Amazon, but I feel we gave it short shrift. Amazon's so phenomenal that I think you can destroy pretty much any industry it chooses to go after. It's the retail Death Star. For example, just today we learned that Amazon's planning to launch a discount store to go after the ultra-low cost but often ultra-low quality of Temu and Shein, two online stores that source a great deal of product from China. These two outfits have arguably become the most powerful apparel makers in the world. Now that Amazon's rolling out a similar discount store to compete against them, I actually don't envy their prospects. But with Walgreens, all I can say is that Amazon taking no prisoners, TNP. First, I understand that Walgreens missed the estimates morning by a mile, causing its stock to cascade back to its lowest level since 1997. That is a long time ago. The company revealed that it will close a significant number of money-losing stores. We don't have a firm number yet. Tim Wentworth, the newest CEO, didn't mince words on the comms call. Quote, the severity and duration of the challenges in the operating environment have only added urgency to our strategic and operational review, end quote. He went on to say, quote, we are at the point where the current pharmacy model is not sustainable, and challenges in our operating environment require we approach the market differently, end quote. No wonder the stock was down 22%. Now, Wentworth's ideas include putting some serious money behind the pharmacy side of the business, the back of the store, so to speak, because that business is still good. That doesn't mean opening clinics, as Walgreens has a stake in VillageMD, which they intend to monetize or unlock liquidity, although I do not know how they're going to do that. Remember, Walmart recently closed its 51 healthcare clinics in their stores because they couldn't make them work. Too costly, hard to staff. So who the heck's going to pay up for these properties? I don't have any idea. Maybe some private equity clown. There are a bunch of them out there. But let's deal with the reality of the situation. If you listen to the conference call today, and it was really just a tale of woe, frankly, you would have heard Tim Wentworth trying to make sense of the decline. You may not know that he is actually one of the finest business people in the world. Someone who turned around Express Scripts and then sold to Cigna for an immense profit for shareholders. He knows this business well. He's identified the edge that Walgreens has for the moment, the pharmacy in the back of the store. But as Walmart found out, pharmacists are also hard to find. Wentworth's been spending a lot of time talking to deans at 15 pharmacy schools, as well as talking to the trade association just to find some workers. It's vital. But how much will it even matter? It might be a foot race. Can they close enough weak stores, stop the pilferage, and hire enough pharmacists while they get out of bad leases and shrink the store so that it relies on its core competence of selling medicine? Will Rite Aid close enough stores, allowing Walgreens to get their best pharmacists? Or will Amazon simply eviscerate them, like it did to the late lamented Borders or the shrinking Barnes & Noble bookstores? Here's the real Walgreens problem. For years and years, it relied on shoppers who bought all sorts of merchandise at standard prices, in part because they needed to get to the back of the store and pick up their drugs and then walk back to the register, and why not stop and get some Cheez-Its? They were terrific, almost captive customers who seemed more sensitive to time than price. We had two huge, beautiful stores of theirs within a block of our office. You had two. I know it sounds really stupid, but bear with me. I remember when the second one opened, it was a gorgeous store. It had everything. It had sushi. I had the sushi. It was okay sushi. We actually did a show from it with an old CEO of Walgreens. I remember asking the manager how it was possible how they could have two stores within a block of each other. The answer? Too much business to handle at one store. Now both stores are closed. Too little business. So what really happened here? For one thing, service went to hell. They fired as many people as they could while still keeping the lights on. But then they became ground zero for theft. So they put the best merchandise in plexiglass prisons, and now you have to call a clerk to open the gate. However, having fired a ton of workers, there aren't enough people to open the plexiglass lids. I once waited 5 minutes. I charted it on my phone. I pressed the button. I did all that stuff to see that it was really 5 minutes before I called management. Nothing happened. 5 minutes waiting for shaving cream, haplessly pushing some button while I stood by idly. I finally just left. It's a lesson in how to turn a Walgreens customer into, well, how about an Amazon customer? Think about it. You're an Amazon Prime subscriber. You get dressed in the morning for work. If you're running out of something, instead of taking some time during the day to go ring the buzzers and hope that some downtrodden Walgreens employees will be able to break away from what they were meaning to do and open your plastic doors, or you just order from Amazon. For the last few years, Amazon's been working endlessly to ensure same-day delivery for the stuff. Look, do you really care? Let's say do you care if you get the shaving cream at 10:30 a.m. at the office or 10:30 a.m. at your home? You're not going to shave the next morning anyway. You don't shave intraday unless you're like Richard Nixon or something. The only difference is that Prime's cheaper. Oh, and it's not like he was the president of the United States. Oh, and it's not like they only have the basic and stripped-down razors and blades and shampoos and deodorants. Instead of the exotics, they're almost always under lock and key. No, Amazon has more varieties than Walgreens. They have like 42 different Old Spices instead of just the usual like 17 Old Spice. They got every Old Spice. How many new Old Spices came out today? Anybody come back to me. Look, Amazon's never set out to destroy Borders. They didn't set out to destroy Walgreens either. But they do set out to get the best products with the best values at the most convenient places. Most convenient places meaning your home. Walgreens can't afford to have the lowest prices, and we never expected them to. Who would have thought their stores could be less convenient than Amazon? It's a wonder to behold. Now let's throw in one more issue. Watching people right in front of you steal what you're actually paying for. Now, I've seen this happen in Walgreens all over the country. I've seen people caught by police and then released on the spot. I was part of a San Francisco catch and release program. I'm not getting a police officer. He told me, he says, listen, first he asked me if I'm an angler. And then he said, listen, we do catch and release in San Francisco. See, here's an amazing thing. You have to pay when you shop at Amazon. It's a bummer. You got to press that button that says pay. I don't know. You pay. Sorry. Meanwhile, beyond the front of the store, Amazon's constantly trying to be your pharmacist. They offer a bunch of medicine. And, you can go to GLP-1. They got the Wegovy stuff. It's right there on the homepage, for heaven's sake. I think it'll be game over for the back of the store once we begin to speak to an AI version of our doctor pharmacist, which is, by the way, what they're working on. And that doctor is a lot more empathetic than your doctor. Trust me. Especially if you're the village, the village DEM, what is it? What do they call that? The City MD Summit, whatever. And that's when the drugstore goes the way of the dodo bookstore. Here's the bottom line. The stock market can be a brutal taskmaster. So can capitalism. I'm sure the Walgreens will come up with some way to make money before its debt position wipes it out. But right now, my money's on the company with the stock that's on the all-time high list, not the one that's on the new low list. My money is on Amazon. I feel like taking calls. I feel like going to Betsy in California. Let's speak to Betsy. Betsy.
Yeah. Hey, Cramer, I got one that is on the low list, and I'm struggling with it because the PE is 8.9, the profit margin is 13.59, and the institution's at 75 or 77% in, depending on which chart you read. And yet, the raw materials are schlepped halfway across the country, and you need to process the raw materials into Coke before you even can make the finished products.
Okay.
Cramer, tell me when can I invest in Nucor again? Because Leo is money good.
Okay. I think Nucor is the greatest manufacturer in America. I think the problem is that the estimates are going to prove to be too high because business is slowing. This is what the Fed's doing. And understand that we're not against the Fed because we don't want inflation. But Nucor right now is a casualty. And once the Fed starts cutting, you're going to be in that stock. Maybe you take some pain now, Betsy, and you'll get some gain later. And by the way, when she's speaking of Coke, she's not even speaking of an illegal one or a liquid one. She's speaking about actually something that's made in a steel mill, okay? I got to qualify that because I don't want people to get the wrong opinion of anybody. All right, look, I'm sure Walgreens will find a way to make some money before its debt position wipes it out. But my money is on Amazon. It's the company that's hitting all-time highs rather than the ones that are hitting lows. On Mad Money tonight, Micron, symbol MU, fell out of favor today because of a forecast. That's ridiculous. I think it's garden variety profit taking a red hot stock. Or maybe somebody else is doing it. Why don't we just talk to the CEO? Don't miss my exclusive. Then, is it time to raise a glass to Corning after the stock hit a 52-week high? I'm giving you my take and sharing if the glass remains half full on the story. And what did you make of AeroVironment here after the stock's major post-earnings slump? I'm getting the latest from the CEO, so stay with Cramer.
Don't miss a second of Mad Money. Follow @Jim Cramer on X. Have a question? Tweet Cramer. #MadMentions. Send Jim an email to madmoney@cnbc.com or give us a call at 1-800-743-CNBC. Miss something? Head to madmoney.cnbc.com.